In this lesson, start with assembling the form families along the exterior line of the blinded concrete. First, load the Euroform family if it's not loaded on this project. Then go to the structural flow view. If the bottom of the foundation is not shown, go to the Property tab and click View Range. Then modify bottom as level as unlimited. This form family is parametric model based on the length of the line, and the host is the vertical side. That means the family would be placed on the host side, extended along the line. So, determine the host size of this family. The host size of the form of the foundation should be the factor placed on the bottom of the foundation. This can be replaced to the blinded concrete in less space. Hence, the form would be placed and assembled on the blinded concrete. For easier work, check all of the blinded concrete and go to the plan view. Then enter HI to visualize this solely. Proceed this project by placing the family in the top menu. Click Architecture, Component, and select the Euroform family. Click Change in the top menu and modify dimension parameter with size. If the parameter setting is done, draw a line on position the forms would be placed. This work takes some time as a lot of the data should be processed. During this process, I would explain detail of the formworks. Forms come in various shape and type, and you might have known in last lesson. And here are some facts of the form. First, the form system is assembled always before placing steel reinforcement. And the type of the form has to be chosen depending on the feeder and used. Euroform is the most frequently used form. Euroforms are clamped or bolted together. Then inspect the point expecting large lateral force from the pour concrete on the Euroform. So brace would be installed to the point. And in order to make a Euroform stable, the longitudinal force sorting posts should be placed below the forms. The sequence of the assembling the forms is also very important. In this project, these all structural elements only require formworks along its exterior lines, but a joint with two different structural elements highly require to place form in the specific sequence. The joints are like beam and slab, wall and columns. In case of the joints with beam and slab, forms of the beam should be assembled primarily, and this is the process in designated sequence. Go back to the project and check the create model. Model based line have the front and the rear. So direction of the front depend on the direction of the family line. Thus, if the direction of the front is the opposite, draw the family line opposite to the original direction. Designate the location of the form in plan view. Then go back to 3D view to check if the forms are placed on the host side you want. If the form family is above the host side, something is wrong on this host. This problem can be solved by modifying the host to the right position. Then select all of the form family. In the top menu, click Edit Work Planes, and in this dialog select Choose Work Planes and click OK. In this stage, When you choose the host plane to modify, this plane would be modified and the position of the form family would be modified either along with it. The panel, a unit of the Euroform, has size with standard. Remaining of the form is the inevitable. In this case, check the total length of the arrangement of form in Property tab. Then modify the size of the panel for the least difference to the segment of the family line. Use the standards when modify the size, and if the difference still exists, use the panel out of standard on the remaining space. Based on the thickness of the foundation, calculate the total height of the form system, and form system planning is completed. After assembling form system, place rebar arrangements inside of the form system. In field, rebar placing should be prior to pouring concrete, but in Revit, hosted structural elements is required to place rebar. Therefore, create a foundation model first, then place rebar arrangements family inside the foundation, which is a hosted structure. First, go to the plan view to create the model. In the top menu, click Structure, Slab. Before creating the foundation, set the property value of the type of slab. Go to Property tab on left and click Edit Type. And Type Setting dialog would be open. On this dialog, set the property of slab like thickness and material to meet requirement appearing. Finish setting and draw a boundary of the foundation. Using select line and trim would be make drawing process easy. Similarly, draw the boundary of the elevator pit but on difference level to make a hollow on the foundation. Then make a distinct foundation for elevator pits. Level of this foundation should be meet requirements of this plan and create with specification of the elevator. After the foundation model is finished, place rebar arrangement. Visualize only the foundation model for convenience. Check if the hunches on the edge of the foundation slab are necessary, and if so, create the hunches. In the top menu, click Structure, Floor drop-down, and Floor slab edge. Choose the edges to place the hunches for slab. The hunches are profile-based drawing, so parametric modification is impossible. For modifying the dimension of the hunches, go to its profile and modify it manually. For example, here are hunches for learning how to place rebar arrangement on the strip foundation or a path. One of the rebar placing method on Revit. In the top menu, click Structure, Rebar, then load the Rebar family. Navigate the family files in Revit, and various reference family for Rebar would be exist inside for the structural Rebar shape folder. Let's load the representative family just to show as a sample. Load the family in this project and proceed the work. In order to place the major bar, rebar with the shape of this path. For distribution type panel, click Surface. After that, choose the top surface of the foundation. If you select other segment, rebar would be placed along all the surface of the segments. After selection of the segments, click Start of the surface and select the outer edge of the surface. Then click end of the surface and select the inner edge of the surface. After selecting surface, go to the property tabs. Select the diameter of rebar. Select the diameter loaded with rebar family, meeting the requirements of structural calculation on this plan. In Property tab, modify properties, existence and angle of hooks, number of the rebar, interval of rebar. To modify in details, click Edit Type and open this dialog. In this dialog, you can modify various dimensions of diameter of rebar. After finishing the setting, click Check in the top menu to create rebar arrangement. This arrangement is shaped like 2D lines. To visualize this arrangement in solid or actual version, go to the Property tab again, click the View Visible States Edit button, and the Rebar Elements View Visible States dialog would be opened. In this dialog, select rebar as solid on this view. So this is how to create rebar based on the path. Now I would place rebar entire of the foundation. In the top menu, click Structure, Reinforcement, Area. Click this Matte Foundation for hosted plane. Click No on the warning dialog. Choose the exterior line of the foundation where the rebar would be placed. Go to the Property tab on your left, modifying dimension of the thickness of the cover. Go to the View Visibility Stage on the Rpaec and click Edit. Then select Unobscured and rebar as the solid. Of course, elevator pin must be hollowed, so select its boundary. All of dimensions and type of the top and bottom rebar should be setting depending on their major bar or minor bar. This also meets requirements on the plan. The most important thing is the direction of major bar. In the top menu, click Major Direction and set the direction property. Click Finish Edit Mode and place rebar would be proceeds. If the bar needs hook, go to the property and modify dimension of the hooks. This is the end of placing rebar. I have emphasized that anchor for base plate should be placed as the structure on the foundation is steel frame, and the exact location of the anchor should be determined using GPS device. Therefore, anchor would be located being tied up with rebar, and after the pouring and curing the concrete on rebar arrangement, base plate for vertical steel beam would be bolted on anchor in order to erect column. Another important thing is before the end of placing rebar, plumbing right after the placing bottom rebar must be prior to placing top rebar. In other words, during placed rebar locations of power supply and soil pipe should be identified prior. So after plumbing is done, pouring concrete is possible. Generally, steel bars are split up to the length 8 meters and delivered to the field. So if the bars are too many or the destination is on very high level, move reinforcement with lifting equipment. To enhance the efficiency of the placing rebar, set assembly area for fabricating segment of the rebar arrangements. Then lift this fabricate rebar to the high level and finish the rest of placing. And for preserving the thickness of the cover on rebar should be supported at the bottom using blocks. And last, modeling in Revit allow you the number and dimension of bureau forms or the amount of rebar in immediate. After placing rebar is completed, Remicon delivers by agitator truck would be poured using the boom concrete pump. During pouring process, concrete vibration should be proceeded to prevent concrete quality degradation.